This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and I just wanted to jump on today because we are bringing back season 2 of the Heartline, our podcast. It will premiere tomorrow. I have a fire episode that is launching art. Art and Healing. I don't want to mess up the title, but you can see the premiere. Make sure that you have your notification bell on so that you can check it out when it comes up. I promise you, we are on a mission to build heart equity. What is heart equity? Heart equity is generating and creating personal, relational, and financial wealth through authentic living. Too many of us are out here living the life that someone told us to live. You're doing and pursuing because this is what you think is going to bring happiness and joy in your life. And for many of you, you have done all of the things, but you have not gotten the feeling and the relief that you've been looking for. You have checked off the boxes. You were good in school. You went to college. You got married. You bought your house. You got in your career, and you still feel empty. And you still feel lonely, and you're trying to figure out why. It's because there are some steps that you have skipped. You missed the whole reason for the process. It was not for you to prove anything other than being who you authentically are. God called you to be somebody so much greater than what you have been committed to. You have been committed to being regular. You have been committed to being mediocre. You have committed so much of your time and energy to doing what everybody else is doing. Showing up the way everybody else is showing up. You can't tell me you like that just because everybody else like that. That's the problem. And what happens is you built your career, right? You got your space in your office, or you got your nice desk. You had to go through what you went through to get the position that you have, and you still not fulfilled. And you still not happy. And you still know that it's work that you have to do, and you don't know what to do with it, and I want to help you. Because I understand. Like, I know what it feels like. I've worked my way up in corporate. I went from being a teen mom to running the doctor's office, running the billing department, running my own business. Like, I know what it feels like to feel like, I don't have what it takes. No, you have what it takes. But are you willing to do what is required? Not so much do. Are you willing to be who is required so that you can experience the joy and the happiness that you've been working so hard to get? I knew you thought if you got that position, you would feel bad about yourself. I knew you thought that if you made that sale, or you got that promotion, or you were able to buy that house, or you got that car, you took that vacation, you really thought you were going to stop being insecure. You really thought you were going to stop doubting yourself. You really thought you were going to stop feeling like people are overlooking you because you've been going through this your whole life. You thought that this time was going to make it different and make it better, and it's not. So what are you going to do? Well, I want to help you. I want to help you. I want to support you. One of the ways we're doing that is bringing back season 2 of the Heartline, our podcast. Because not just myself, but there are others that have committed to authentic living. And when you choose to live authentically, that's when you choose to transform your life. The other way I want to help you is we're going to have a monthly master's class starting in September. What are we going to be doing at this class? You're going to master building heart equity. You're going to master showing up in your life in an authentic way, in a real way. You're going to master being your best self. That's what it's time to do. Like all this other stuff, listen, the glaciers are melting. Hawaii is burning. Leprosy is spreading in Florida. Okay? So if you are living in the United States of America, you realize all that superficial stuff, listen. The Bible says we must store up our treasures in heaven, where where moth and rust will not destroy it. If a wildfire was coming through your community, what are you building? Is what you're building going to be able to withstand a fire burning through your house? Is what you're building going to be able to withstand the floods that are going to come from these glaciers melting? I live on the coast. It is not lost on me that as the oceans rise, oh, my little city is going to be underwater. Because Charleston is already below sea level. We were below sea level before there was an issue with global warming. So we're also in a city that is burdened and weighed down with the weight and the pressure and the heaviness that chattel slavery brought and left behind, that residue here in Charleston, South Carolina, and in the South, this country as a whole, but especially here, where 70% of those enslaved individuals that came to America came through Charleston. It's a lot of healing we got to do. That's why I brought the Heartline. That's why I do heart coaching. And I'm be honest with you. Like, I slowed down, I got quiet, because for a while I just had to get still, because I felt like, what am I doing? Like, what am I really doing? Like, what am I really helping people do? I'm helping people get to the authenticity of who they are. Because once you really know the truth of who you are, it's going to set you free from being the imposter that you have committed your life to being. It's time for you to make a shift. It's time for you to make a change. Now is really the time. Like, I've been doing real estate. I've been doing business. I've been out there, like, figuring some things out, establishing myself as a businesswoman. But more so, I've been working on myself. Like my uncle said, you can get all the knowledge. You can study to show yourself approved. But the thing you're going to have to do is act it out. And I've been living it, right? I've been living it. I just dropped my youngest son off at my brother's house. He's going to spend some time with his uncle and his cousins and his auntie and just get to enjoy that time. And it really just made me think about, like, how wealthy I am to be able to have people in my life. That's what heart equity is all about. You got to tap into the people in your life that feed you, that cause you to thrive. And when I think about the pains that an institution like slavery left behind, I think about just what sin does to people. Like how many of us have come from broken families? How many of us have come from parents who didn't quite know how to handle life, and so we had to deal with some of the struggles and the challenges because of that? Like, how many of you are struggling with knowing you're good enough? How many of you are struggling with receiving the love that's there for you? How many of you are tired of taking less than because you feel less than? Like, how many of you are tired of hiding behind what you're doing? I know you're exhausted. Like, I talk to people all the time. They are exhausted. And it's not that they're physically exhausted. They're mentally, emotionally, and spiritually exhausted because they're just doing all the good things but still not getting the substance, not getting the relief that they're looking for. And guess what? The only way you're going to get that is through Christ. Like, I can attest to that. Like, I have made money. No, I haven't made millions in a year yet, but I'm getting closer. But I have made money. I have doubled my income. I have traveled. I have done those things. But let me tell you something. There is nothing more fulfilling than a relationship with Jesus Christ. Nothing. Yeshua HaMashiach. And for me, I tried it. I have tried to see if there were other things more fulfilling, because I allowed those things to come first or in my life over Christ on various occasions. But one thing I can say that holds true: there's nothing greater than having relationship with Christ. Because that relationship will just strengthen every other area of your life. I'm not forcing you to do that. That's just been my experience. But what I have learned in studying my Bible and reading and meditating and taking my time and getting to know the word and getting to know God, let me tell y'all something. It's time for y'all to get unstuck. It is time for you to quit playing. Like, you can dress yourself up and try to make yourself look good, and everybody else will think you got it together, but you're dying on the inside. What was your blood pressure the last time you went to the doctor? Did you get a diagnosis that you weren't expecting? Like, at that age, like especially the age group that I'm in right now, you know stress is causing that. Unhappiness with self is causing that. No, your man don't need to make more money, or you don't need a good woman in your life for things to change. No, you need to be good to yourself. You need to get on board with Christ and what He has in store for you. That's what's going to make the change in your life. And I'm committed to doing it. So I'm committed to supporting you in this process. Because one thing I realized, God didn't let me make it out of being a teenage mom, out on my own at 17 years old, not knowing where me and my child was going to go, sleeping on the couch with a newborn, and then getting a spot, living on the project, going from the project to Section 8, to paying rent, to being a homeowner, going from medical records to insurance and to office supervisor, and then being an entrepreneur, and then being able to establish more businesses. I thought I would have been sprung out someplace crazy. I didn't think that my life could make it the way it is, and I'm just getting started. And too many of you are out there not like maximizing your potential. And you're not doing it, you will say because you're waiting on the money or you waiting on somebody. No, you're not doing it because of what you believe about yourself. The stories that you've told yourself, and now you believe that they are true. You got to stop hiding behind that fake smile. You got to stop hiding behind those letters behind your name. You're going to have to stop hiding behind that last paycheck or that last payoff that you got, because that's not stopping you from crying yourself to sleep at night. That's not stopping you from that's not causing you to go after that dream that you know God told you to pursue. It's time to get it together. Like, it's time for you to heal. It's time for you to start telling the truth. It's time for you to start having those conversations that maybe you did not want to have. It's time for you to start telling the truth to people that maybe you did not want to do before. Baby, let me tell you something. It is time. Let me tell you, you're not doing your parents no favors by not telling them the truth. You're not doing your siblings no favor by not telling them the truth. Holiday season will be here before you know it. Enough of this fakeness. Enough of this not telling people the truth. Enough of this not expressing how we really feel, because your feelings matter. Your feelings matter. Because if you don't deal with your feelings, then you're not going to walk by faith. And without faith, you will never get to the maximum potential of what you've been called here to do. So let's get to it now. Tomorrow, August 14th, check out the Heartline podcast with Adelai Brown, Season 2, Episode 1. Let's get it. I love y'all. I'll be back tomorrow.